Hello, and welcome to a very awkward edition of Obscura Undead. We are coming to you via webcam and Skype because we are practicing social isolation in an attempt to be responsible and not, get infected and then infect people with coronavirus. So, I'm Azy.
I'm Ian.
And Mouse can't join us today because she is having date night with her lovely husband. But we wanted to talk to you about ways that you can support musicians with all of the tours being canceled from coronavirus. Pretty much everything, absolutely everything. It's, the artists are really hurting because tours and merch sales are how they make a lot of the money that, helps keep them afloat as artists and musicians.
Yeah. And maybe even as well discussing about how you can support your local nightlife scene as well, as these times many areas are closed down.
Yep, we just got word today that here in Tampa, bars and clubs are shut down for the next 30 days.
Which is going to be a pretty big impact economically for not just the club owners, but for all of your staff that works here, your barbacks, your bartenders, your security that works in a club, your door people, coat people. The toll is going to be pretty astronomical economically. So,
yeah, absolutely. So we're going to hopefully touch on a little bit of all of that. But the thing that we want to talk about most is how to support, the music that we love in the scene. And the biggest thing we can say is go out and buy music directly from the artists, as direct as possible. Buying from the labels helps too. And I know that Artifact, they made everything in their catalog name your price. So you can go in and pay whatever you want for any of the bands that are in their catalog. Because, and the reason that they're doing this is because, our artists are hurting. Please help support them. So they're trying to make it more accessible because a dollar here is better than is better than nothing at all.
Yeah. So I think one of the things also is Bandcamp. A lot of acts are on Bandcamp, and they, as of this upcoming Friday, I haven't read the full piece just yet, but it does say that they are going to be waiving their cut of sales on Friday to help support the artists that are listed through Bandcamp. So that's another good piece that that artists are getting that support directly.
Right. I mean, like Bandcamp's cut was never all that high to begin with, but for them making it just, absolute zero is just a really class move on their part because, this is going to affect them as well. So for them to say, like, we care more about the musicians on our platform than our bottom dollar is really cool.
Yeah. And to be clear, though, that's this Friday, March 20th. It looks like it's a 1-day deal. So I don't know if this video will get out there in time. And I don't know if this will be an ongoing thing for them, but I just scanned that quick. Well, because the information's coming so quickly as to not only like what's going on in the world, but like companies and artists and everybody's trying to react as quick as possible.
Yeah. And people are freaking out. Like there's a lot of, like, musicians are trying to figure out what to do. Fans are trying to figure out how they can support musicians. Labels are trying to figure out what to do. Like another label, Swiss Dark Knights, they put everything in their catalog at 50% off until further notice to try and encourage people to purchase from the label. I know that some bands are doing live streams as well of their sold out shows. Or not sold out shows, canceled shows, which some of them, were sold out.
Like I'm not a huge fan, but Dropkick Murphys, they actually, as we were getting this set up, they were streaming right now for St. Patrick's Day, and I could see a bunch of friends on Facebook watching their live stream. So if you see bands doing that kind of stuff, definitely go try to support them and check out what they're doing.
Yeah. And there are groups popping up all over Facebook right now. There's one that's like Gothic Streaming Community. It's just, places where people can go and post streams of bands that are, doing something from their living room, making music, just trying to do anything they can to get their music out there. And, do something to sort of coop up with the, madness of isolation, I guess. And I'm trying to think of other bands that have live streams going on. I know that, what is it, Corinne?
I did see that one, that they were doing a live stream.
Yeah.
And I think we're probably going to see a lot more bands start heading down that path.
Mm-hmm.
Setting up like maybe a tip jar while they're performing, and then doing like little mini shows for people online.
Yeah. And in addition to buying music from the artists, you can also go and buy merch, but be aware that depending on where that merch is originating, it might not get sent out.
Yeah.
Like things aren't coming out of Italy right now. There are parts of the world where, merch can't be shipped. Poland, Batcave Productions, they're not shipping anything right now, I don't think, because of just shipping restrictions worldwide. So digital is kind of the best bet if you want to get money into the hands of the artists
Immediately.
now. Yeah. Which really sucks. And I know that people on Facebook in our music community group that we have, they were asking questions like, how can I go and, support my club nights that are getting shut down? How can I support the DJs who don't have anywhere to spin? How can I support, my like barback friends, my industry friends? And the thing is that right now, I'm not sure if you can.
At this moment, no. I mean, the best is like if you've got friends that are saying, hey, I'm doing a GoFundMe, maybe try to help them out that way.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even simple things to help them out. Like if you're in a fortunate situation that you have like
an extra roll of toilet paper.
Extra roll of toilet paper, extra bottle of wine, some extra food, like go to their house, drop it off on their doorstep, or go visit. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
Those are the ways that you could do it. Like bring them a meal, do Uber Eats, get Uber Eats ordered for them to help them so they don't have to worry about like, how am I going to eat today? Or how am I going to, pay my rent?
Right.
So.
I know that DJs are doing live streams right now, but that's mostly just to keep people entertained. And that's something we're going to be doing later this week through Obscure and Dead, is we are putting together a sort of virtual nightclub, because ours are shut down. So as you can see right now, I'm practicing with my lighting. Oh no, did I freeze?
You froze up.
Oh no. It's so you can see my lighting.
You're back. You're back.
Oh, I'm back. Okay, hold on. I need to fix it because I'm going to go again.
All right, now you're back.
Okay, so this is a problem with, obviously recording on Skype.
Right. So yeah, I think I'm going to try my first hand at spinning Saturday. It's
going to be your DJ debut. So we are going to be having in our virtual nightclub, so to speak, 6 rooms. Essentially, it's going to be it's going to be 6 simultaneous live streams, all starting at the same time and ending at the same time, and it's going to be 5 DJs and Skullgirdle doing tarot readings. Because what event doesn't have, like someone set up in the corner doing like card readings or bone casting or stuff like that?
We need to get that at an OU event then, because I don't think we've had.
No, we haven't actually ever gotten anyone like that at an OU event.
That would be fun.
Yeah. But the folks DJing are myself, Mouse, Malik and Mouse are Orlando DJs. And Ian here is going to be trying his hand at spinning for the very first time.
Be gentle.
Mm-hmm. But part of our goal is to make, every room, I keep using floaty fingers, so every simultaneous stream have a different music theme. So Mouse is probably going to be doing a lot of like dark wave and minimal synth and all the synthy electronic stuff she loves. And I'll probably be doing something that's more like goth or death rock leaning for like 4 hours.
And also death rock.
Yeah. And also death rock. And you have to put the D in there because otherwise it says anal, so death rock.
Perfect. It still fits.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe fit isn't the right word. It also, that works.
Smooth.
Yeah. I'm gonna do new wave and post punk and some dark wave.
Yeah, and we're gonna try to get like maybe not the most perfect club looking setup, but we want it to at least be entertaining because it's gonna suck being home on like a Saturday night and nowhere to go, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, and it's gonna drive me crazy. When was the last weekend I haven't partied? It was like a year ago. I'm gonna go so fucking
I don't know
crazy.
If the viewers of OU realize just how active you are. Like, I can't keep up with you. Every weekend you are they're in a different city every weekend doing some insane event. Like, oh, I went and I practiced with my band and then I DJ'd. Oh, and then I went to a club night and I saw a band play and I'm like just.
And then I went to another band the same night.
Like last weekend you went and saw Azy Ian and Voltaire, and then you went over to the Auto Melody event after that.
And then the next night I went to 2 different clubs. I
mean, just one of those could wipe somebody out physically, emotionally, financially, mentally.
Well, when you don't drink, it makes it a little easier.
You did stop drinking, didn't you?
Yep. I was spending too much money.
Well, I will drink for the two of us.
Oh, thank you.
And smoke. I am not your role model you want on this channel.
It's been 2 days since I've had a cigarette.
I'm definitely not the OU role model.
But anyway, we were talking about how to support your scene.
Yeah, so like I'm try to rearrange this room a little bit and get some black lighting and spooky lighting set up. And you've already got your lighting look, which looks really cool. And I may have my wife may dance around while I'm spinning. I don't know. So maybe I'll turn the camera on her and, I don't know, figure it out. It's weird. It's like we could still technically get together. They're saying now no more than 10 people gathering at a time.
I'd prefer not to leave my house. I mean, if I can help it, because I don't know.
It's
better
weird.
To be safe than sorry.
It is, because we've noticed, like, since this has started, people are driving insaner than normal.
There are fewer people driving, but the ones who are driving way worse. I've seen so many accidents, even though there's like no one on the roads. It's been nuts.
And the last week, twice now, I've seen people driving without their lights. Like,
everyone's just really distracted. Like, everyone's really worried. Like, my productivity this week has been garbage because I'm so distracted by what's going on.
So I think it's a good event, though. I think this is a really cool idea. I think for anybody that tunes in, you will have definitely a wide variety of music to choose from, and you might pick up some new bands. And if nothing else, now with the live stream, because this wasn't something that I was clear about when we were all talking about it, will there be a chat set up that people can like request songs? Or
yeah, YouTube has a side chat that pops up every time you open a live stream. It's just something built into the system.
Great. So if people want to request something, they can go for it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So then that kind of brings us to what do we do to help, our businesses and our nightclubs and stuff bounce back after things start to reopen, which I was seeing something say that it could be as late as August.
Yeah.
July,
that's a long time, because what's going to happen is
really long time.
yeah, you're going to have like all these bands, all these clubs scrambling to reschedule any like themed club nights that they're doing. So let's say you're in an area where there's not a dedicated goth club, they're probably going to be fighting with other nights to try to get something scheduled. You're going to have bands fighting over venues or trying to get rescheduled in as quick as they can.
It's also not even just that. It's if these businesses aren't making money, they still have bills. And, you know, places rent like a building to put their business in and that sort of thing. And so, like, what happens when they can't afford like 3 months of rent because they don't have it in their bank account?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know that they, without getting all into the politics, like they just today were talking about trying to funnel money into individuals.
Yeah, I saw that.
And, even businesses. I guess right now, small businesses can apply for loans.
Yeah, bridge loans.
Right. The big companies are somehow getting handouts, getting bailouts. And so it's a weird time.
Oh, God, don't even get us started on Wall Street. That is.
Yeah. But I think, unfortunately, like supporting the venues is much more difficult right now. But
it really is.
If they're still there when things go back to somewhat normal, I would say do whatever you can to get out and support those businesses. But in the meantime, there are people, like you were talking about bands selling online merch and stuff, but there are smaller businesses that are related to the scene that have already been doing business online, but some that are only storefronts. We know locally we have a shop, their storefront, and Ravens and Rockers, they just started today selling on eBay. So if you might find some cool pieces that would look great for when things open back up again at a good price.
I mean, and the thing that sucks is like if you are not, in a situation where you can help support anyone monetarily, I mean, I get that you cannot like personally go and save, all the bands you love and throw like a ton of money at them. Like that is unrealistic for any given person. But, you can still share their shit and.
Just as much as the bands are going to be struggling, we're all going to be at some point starting to hurt.
Yeah.
The speaking from a stereotype, most people within the community, like unless they're corporate goth, a lot of people, we all work gig jobs or we work in retail. Are we going to have jobs to go back to when this is all said and done? So. And of course, we've got our own bills to pay in the meantime.
Right. Like this really is a time when I think that if this keeps up, if it doesn't get better, if it does go out to August, like they're projecting, the only thing we're going to be able to do really is just our best to support each other as a community.
Yeah.
Help where you can help. Don't be shy about asking for help,
Definitely, like I said, bring food to people's houses if you can. If you know somebody that needs toilet paper, lend a roll.
Yeah.
God, who would have thought that we would have to be telling people to like share toilet paper?
I'm actually in complete and utter disbelief that we are where we are right now. And I work in local government. I wouldn't have started being as freaked out about it as I am had not, we actually started seeing a response in our county's emergency operations center. Like that's how you know it's serious is when like they're starting to, activate people. So
yeah,
I still can't believe in some ways that this is real and it's happening, but it is.
I actually said it today on a post on Facebook, but there's a lot of people that are like, oh, well, I'm not affected by it. I don't have any family members affected by it. But if you actually start looking through your friends and talking around, the likelihood, if you want to play like 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, you probably know somebody who knows somebody is
Well,
impacted by this.
aren't they saying that the younger you are, the more likely you are to be carrying the virus without realizing it and just being asymptomatic, and that as many as 2/3 of cases are going undiagnosed?
Well, right before we got on this chat, a friend of mine posted that her son, who's about 13, 14, today suddenly came down with a fever of 102. He was fine this morning. This was just before we started talking, and she's like, please, send your thoughts and prayers because he's got 102 fever. She called to try to see if she could get him tested because he's been perfectly healthy, and laughed at her. And they were like, if he hasn't been out of the country or he hasn't done any extensive traveling, there's a waiting list to get tested. So he could be potentially, she's like, she said jokingly, she's like, I've never wanted his symptoms to be something like strep throat more than anything ever than right now, that she was hoping that it was not what it could be. And, my own parents work in the hospital down in South Florida, and they've had 2 patients pass from this, and 13 staff members come back positive with the virus. And so again, like that goes back to like, you may not have it yourself. You may not know somebody that you're talking to daily, but I'm sure if you like look through the line of people, you'll probably find somebody that's been infected or is dealing with it right now.
So like these things that are getting canceled, don't look at it as like, this sucks for me. Like look at it as in like, this is
right
for the good of everyone. Yeah,
it is. And that's how things were. Like, I don't know how it was because we didn't see each other this weekend, but I don't know how it was over in Orlando where you were at, but in Tampa, there was definitely that feeling Saturday night. Like we all knew that this was going to be like the last that we were going to be together for a while. And it was sad, but at the same time, like, and nobody knew how to interact. Do we hug? Do we shake hands? Do we I think people were like tapping shoes,
touching elbows.
They're saying like, don't even touch elbows now. Like I was doing the whole Vulcan salute, and I was like, I can't. It's there's just so much uncertainty. So I think the positive message on this would be like, stay vigilant, stay alert. It's all the crap you're hearing on TV.
Take the opportunity to reconnect with people you haven't spoken with in a while.
Right, and also
when everything opens up, go spend your money.
Yep. And while you're at home, take that time to like perfect your makeup look and
discover new bands. You have time.
New bands, and make your own nightclub at home. Set up some fun lighting if you have it, and put drapes on the windows, like crazy fabrics on the windows, and just dance around your house all dressed up and do all those spooky goth dances and just like enjoy yourself. Like that's all you can do. You really can dance like no one's watching. So
that's a lovely suggestion. I like that.
Have fun with it, and do Skype parties with friends, or do like online chats. And I think that in some ways this will tear us apart as a society or community. But
Corona will tear us apart again.
But I think in some ways it can also bring us together as a community, stronger maybe than what we were before. And I'm trying, man. I'm trying to like be as positive with the outlook on this as I can. And
I appreciate that, and I think that we have to look for the good in shit like this. Otherwise, we're just all gonna like get cabin fever and go murder our neighbors, and that's no good.
Turn into The Shining really quick for some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a lot of good suggestions you have for keeping the scene going, and just making sure that the musicians know that they're still loved and appreciated, because they're not going to get to have that right in front of them in an audience. I'm sure those people are going to feel even more affected by it, or just as affected, but maybe a little bit deeper. It's like you don't have that immediate gratification of a crowd. Unfortunately, though, it's those background people that support those musicians when they go live. Like, how are they gonna?
Yeah, because it's it's what we were saying. It's everyone. It's promoters, club owners, the DJs, everyone involved in the industry, like PR agents, like everyone.
The person that runs the merch table,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, bartenders, bouncers, like they're all going to be displaced for a little bit. And
Yeah. So I guess like what we're saying is that what this all comes down to is support people where you can, support the scene where you can, support each other where you can, and just be compassionate towards one another. And my video froze again, and
did.
just be understanding.
Yep. Just be as understanding as you can. I think that's really one of my strongest takeaways from all of this is just patience. Like, this is really one of those things. There's no blame for this. I mean, I'm sure conspiracy theorists can find a blame to point fingers at, but
Yeah.
but ultimately, this is a global event, and all we can do is be vigilant and as patient as we can as we wait for this to blow over. That's what I think.
Yeah. So as always, we devolved into a weird, ranty, positive message. That seems to happen a lot. We're just passionate people. Plus, Ian's been drinking, so whatever.
I'm not drunk. I am not a violent, mean drunk. I'm not even drunk. That's the funny part. I mean, I've had a couple of glasses of wine. Have you ever seen me be mean and violent when I'm drunk?
I don't think I've seen you be mean and violent just in general, but when things open back up, go out and support the nights that open back up. Buy an extra drink if you can. Do what you can. If you see your friends that you haven't seen in a while, buy them a drink. Everybody have a good time, reconnect. Maybe wait and hold off to kiss with tongue, but it'll be great.
Right. And if you can't get out, because this goes even to, and I saw this YouTube video recently, somebody saying like, I guess someone somewhere had said like, you're not part of the scene unless you're going out to clubs and seeing concerts. And it's like, some people don't have that luxury to get out already.
That's true.
So I think all of us, like maybe this is a chance for all of us to maybe even connect with those people more and make them feel even more part of the community.
Yeah, because if you can't go out to the clubs because there are no clubs, then maybe you shouldn't judge those other people quite so harshly.
Yep.
Because we're all homebound for one reason or another, and some of us have way more practice at it than others.
Yep.
Yeah.
So cool.
But anyway, we are hosting a live stream on the channel on Thursday to help keep people entertained. Michelle from Skullgirdle, RIP on YouTube, is going to be hosting basically a discussion on the Obscure Undead channel about sex. Because why not?
Favorite topic.
Because why not?
I'm gonna tune into that.
You're gonna tune into that, and you're gonna be just like sex.
And then Michelle and I don't know if we're gonna live stream it, but I know we're gonna do a Gen X versus Gen X playlist together. That'll be coming this weekend. We are gonna work on it together this weekend. And it'll just be pretty much similar to what she did for her 80s, like what she was listening to in the 80s playlist. But it'll be our two different takes of like what we were listening to in the 80s and kind of critiquing each other. So that'll be kind of scary.
Oh, you'll have fun. And you should live stream it because
I think
honestly, it's probably going to be what keeps us sane through this. And we hope that you guys have fun with us. This video obviously wasn't live streamed, mostly because I'm still trying to figure out how to use OBS. So we'll see. I think I'm just overthinking it and thinking it's more complicated than it actually is.
It's not.
Well, it's because it did the whole video feedback thing, and I freaked out about it for like 20 minutes because I've never used something like this before. And then I Googled it, which I should have done like minute 1, and it's fine. I'm fine. I'm just dumb. It's okay. But
we've had like maybe a half-hour discussion versus like an hour and a half setup.
Yeah, something like that. But it'll be faster next time. Yeah. But yeah, I should actually do a short video basically just saying that we're going to be switching over to like a weird live streaming format simply because of the limitations that we have right now. Because like I said, we're not going to go touch each other. We're not going to go be in the same space as each other. We're all gross right now.
Speak for yourself. I'm always.
Please don't touch your nipples.
Oh.
No, that's for Thursday. Save it for Thursday.
It's for the sex talk. It's the wine talking. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
I'll get all edited out, I'm sure.
Yeah. And in addition to, maybe supporting artists with monetary contributions, if you want to throw a couple bucks our way, like that would be a huge help for, what we're doing. It'll help keep us going because we are out of like work right now. And I personally rely on the gig cash that I get to help make ends meet for the month. So,
do we also want to mention like oh fudge, never mind. Go ahead. I was just.
Did you lose it?
I lost it. Oh man.
All right.
Oh, I found it. The Rolodex came back up. So the website, the Obscure Undead website, you've got a listing on there, which I'm sure you talked about, like your last video of all of the cancellations.
Actually, we haven't. I have a list up on the website for all of the canceled shit, which honestly should just now read everything, and I should delete everything off the page. Because it really is just everything at this point.
So yeah, like Earth is canceled. So, but yeah, you've got like a listing up there on the site. I am putting together, as before we got on the call, I was typing it up, but like a list of like ways that, you can support the scene. So kind of like what we've talked about in the video, but in a print format. So check that out. We'll come up with more ideas as we keep going along. The Obscure Undead writing team, like we've all been kind of chatting about it. So
yeah, and we'll try our best to keep you entertained.
Yeah.
At least as much as we can. So I guess until next time, check us out on Thursday. Check us out on Saturday for our live streams. We'll see you then.
Yeah.
And if you're one of the people who is hoarding toilet paper, honestly, shame on you. And we'll see you later.
Yep. Keep it spooky. Bye. Bye.
This is